Module 7 Business Modeling, the summarization of this Module 7 Lesson 1. So, number 1, yung price estimates. So, ang price estimates is parang ito yung presyo ng isang product or service. Or di kaya yung estimated cost na kailangan bayaran ng customers para sa product or service natin. Halimbawa, kung ang estimated mo na price doon sa product mo is 500, so kailangan nyo nang ibigay or ibayad ng mga customers mo. Second is ang revenue model. So, ang revenue model is parang ito siya yung blueprint kung paano kikita yung business mo. Parang dito nakalagay kung saan galing yung kita or tulad ng sales or kumbaga kung ano pa man na pwedeng pagmula ng kikitain mo. Halimbawa is yung Netflix. So, kumikita yung Netflix sa monthly subscriptions ng users. Next is yung customer acquisition. So, ang customer acquisition is parang ito yung process ng pagkuha or pag-attract ng bagong customers. Like yung marketing, kasama dito yung marketing, promos, tsaka yung mga sales. Marami ngayon yan yung buy one, take one, yun yung customer acquisitions. Kumbaga, may mga diskarte ka para maka-attract ng customers. Para dumami pa lalo yung customers mo. Tapos, next is ang profit margin. So, ang profit margin naman is, ito yung, from the word itself, profit. So, ito yung tubo ng negosyo. So, magkaiba yung kinita mo at saka yung ginagastos mo. So, dito nakapaloob kung ilan yung tubo kumbaga yung benta mo, kung tubo ng product mo. Halimbawa, kung ang nagastos mo is 100, tapos yung mga nagamit mo lang is 70, so 30 yung tubo mo. Ang unit economics naman is yung pag-aaral kung magkano ang kita or yung gastos mo sa bawat isang item na binibenta mo. Halimbawa, kung nagbibenta tayo ng isang milk tea at gusto lang natin malaman kung magkano yung kita sa bawat isang cup. So, yun ang tinatawag na unit of economics. Next is ang pricing strategy. So, ang pricing strategy naman, ito yung paraan kung paano inaayos ang presyo or product ng ng isang product o ang service. So, kasama na dito or kinukonsider na dito yung market demand, competition, at kung paano nakikita ng tao ang value ng isang product natin. So, dito tayo sa pricing strategy, kailangan alam natin kung ano yung market demand, kung ilan yung pricing strategy ng ating kakompetensya, at saka paano makikita ng tao kung yung halaga ng ating product. So, ang halimbawa nito is kung premium ang ating product, pwede nating itaas ang presyo para magmukha namang high quality, di ba? Kaya may mga kung dapat yung pricing natin is nakaayon din sa kung ano yung quality ng ating product. Kung maganda rin naman yung quality tsaka mukhang mamahalin naman, pwede rin naman nating itaas kasi matatanggap naman yun or makikita rin naman yun ng ating customers.
Hi everyone, I am Sadiq Emil Turgani. In this video, I want to share with you a really inspiring story. The story of Pocketworks and how a simple everyday problem turned into a successful business idea. It all started with one man named Arnold Bagabaldo. One day, Arnold was waiting for a parking spot. Like most of us, he was frustrated because it was hard to find an available space. While he was waiting, he noticed how inefficient the parking system was. At that time, parking spaces were being tracked using wired sensor, and these were not only expensive but also difficult to maintain. Now, instead of just complaining or ignoring the problem, Arnold became curious. He started thinking, what if there was a wireless system that could track available parking spots more easily and efficiently? That simple question sparked a big idea. He began developing a wireless solution And that's how Pocketworks was born, a company that creates Internet of Things, or the IoT, technology to solve real-life problems. Arnold's story shows that sometimes innovation doesn't come from something big or complex. It can come from observing small problems that happen in everyday life. Even something as ordinary as waiting for a parking spot can inspire a new invention if you have the right mindset. Now, here's are some lessons we can learn from his story. First, great ideas came from real problems. Arnold didn't need to look far for inspiration. It came from simple personal experience. This shows that when you face a problem, instead of getting frustrated, try to think how you could solve it. That's how most innovations begin. Second, be observant. Pay attention to the little things that others might ignore. Sometimes the smallest problem lead to the biggest opportunities. If Arnold hadn't noticed how difficult parking was, Pocketworks might never have existed. The third one, use technology to solve problems. Arnold used wireless technology to create a solution that made people's lives easier. It's a great reminder that technology should always serve a purpose to improve how we live and work. Lastly, don't ignore inefficiencies. What others might see as normal, an entrepreneur sees as a change to make something better. Arnold didn't just accept that parking systems were difficult. He looked for a way to change it. That's what makes innovators and entrepreneurs stand out.
Good day to all. So today, I'll be discussing pricing strategies and how they relate to a startup's revenue model. So, a revenue model is basically the blueprint for how business earns money through a direct sales, subscriptions, and advertising. A pricing strategy, on the other hand, determines how much to charge for your product or services. In short, the revenue model defines the source of income, while the pricing strategy helps maximize that income by setting the right prices to attract customers and generate profit. Think of price as a bridge between a business and your customer. It must reflect the value you offer and match what your target market is willing to pay. The first pricing method is cost plus pricing. This is the simplest approach. You calculate the total cost to produce your product, then add a markup percentage for profit. For example, a local t-shirt printing shop adds up costs like fabric, ink, labor, and rent, then adds 30% profit margin to get the final price. The advantage is that it's simple and guarantees a minimum profit. However, the disadvantage is that it doesn't consider customers' perception or competitor pricing, so it might not work well in a competitive market. So the next method is the value-based pricing. So instead of focusing on cost, this strategy sets the price based on how much value the product provides the customers. For instance, the luxury brands like Louis Vuitton or software companies like Slack use value-based pricing. They charge higher prices because customers see added value in exclusivity and brand reputation or premium features. This approach can lead to higher profitability and helps a business stand out. However, it requires deep market research to truly understand customers' perceptions, and not all customers will value your product the same way. The third pricing method is competition-based pricing. Here, businesses analyze what competitors charge and set similar, higher, or lower prices. For example, An online grocery startup may offer lower delivery fees to attract customers, while a jewelry shop might set higher prices to highlight exclusivity. Next is psychological pricing, which uses customers' perception. For instance, pricing an item at 199 pesos instead of 200 pesos creates the illusion of a cheaper deal. It's often used in restaurants or retail shops to encourage impulse buying. While both methods can be effective, they must be used carefully. Overusing psychological pricing or copying competitors can harm long-term brand trust. The fifth strategy is dynamic pricing. This adjusts prices depending on demand, time, or market conditions. A good example is Uber's surge pricing, or how movie ticket prices change on opening weekends. During high demand, prices go up to maximize profit. During slow periods, they drop to encourage more customers. The main advantage is that it increases revenue and uses resources efficiently. However, constant price changes can confuse or frustrate customers, so transparency and fairness are very important. The last pricing strategy is the price bundling. This involves offering several products or services together at a lower combined price. For instance, a salon might offer a haircut, hair coloring, and treatment as a single discount package. Or a mobile service provider might bundle data, calls, and streaming subscriptions. Bundling can boost sales and clear inventory, but it can also reduce sales of individual items if customers prefer the bundle. To conclude, there is no one-size-fits-all pricing strategy. A successful business continuously experiments, analyzes, and adapts its pricings to fit its revenue model, target market, and product value. That would be all. Thank you.